Fisiapa. I'm still in the festive season, and this is a time that you wine, you dine, you spend time with people that you love and I appreciate. And I'm telling you, if there's a party out there, feel free, invite me, because I'm still in the mood for Christmas. My name is Miss Nancy. This is Confessions on TV3, and tonight it's quite an interesting confession. A woman that is unhappy that her prayers were answered. How can you not be happy when the Lord heard your prayer? You will get to know more when I come in the studio. It's going to be another great time on Confessions. Please stay tuned. Thank you, people. Let us listen to her confession. She says that God heard her prayer and she's worried. She's been having sleepless nights because she thinks God actually heard her prayer. Let's take a look. I am seated in the confessions booth with a woman who says that her God, her prayer answering God, answered her prayer, and she still has not been happy ever since. I am here only to listen to her confession and story. My lady, you're welcome to Confessions.
Thank you, Miss Nancy.
What brings you here today?
Miss Nancy, I've been married for 5 years now. I have a firstborn. My secondborn, I lost the child. I had some complications. So therefore, when I gave birth, the doctor said the child is a preterm baby, so they have to put the child in an incubator. Miss Nancy, I have to tell you the truth. I really cried my heart out.
You would.
I cried and I asked God that, God, why me? Why am I going through this trauma? Would I be able to take care of this child?
If it survives.
Yes, and Miss Nancy, you know these children, you have to have money to take care of them.
Indeed.
I wasn't financially sound. Miss Nancy, in 2 or 3 days' time, the doctor called me. I went to the hospital to, check up on the baby. And the doctors took me to a room and told me that I've lost the baby. Miss Nancy, I was happy in a way, but I was very sad.
You would be.
So after I lost this baby, I realized things were booming for me. Business-wise, trip abroad and all that. And now, Miss Nancy, when I'm there, I feel guilty. I ask myself, why? Is it the baby that is giving me this wealth, or what is actually happening to me?
You feel that you lost her to gain something.
Yes, Miss Nancy. So at times when I'm there, I feel very guilty that I lost the baby.
You prayed.
I prayed and cried. Miss Nancy, I won't lie to you, I prayed and cried.
And you are not enjoying your blessings after because you think that there was an exchange.
That's how I feel.
She thinks that there was an exchange, that her baby was taken away so that she could have the best of this life and the best she has been enjoying after she lost her baby. And yet, she cannot truly, fully enjoy her blessing. Is she just imagining? Has she gone into depression? What is happening to this woman who believed that her God is a prayer-answering God, yet he answered her prayer and she cannot sleep in peace? People, let us go into the studio. First of all, my sincere condolences to you on the loss of your child. And again, I want to say congratulations for the beautiful life that you have had out there. I do not have all the answers, but when we get into the studio, we will get our resource people to help you. Do not cry, my dear. Do not cry. This is Confessions on TV3. Welcome back. This is The Confession. God heard her prayer, and I'm happy for her, but she cannot sleep. Did you hear the story? Yes. Okay. So anyone Oh, Esther, you look beautiful.
Thank you very much, Miss Nancy.
Happy New Year.
Many happy returns. One thing we need to understand as individuals is we need to be grateful for the things we have and try to accept what we've lost. I mean, it's quite difficult when it has to do with emotions. It has to do with the fact that there's some loss somewhere, but acceptance is always key. So I believe this woman has lost her child, all right, but she should be grateful for the fact that she still has children. Life has gotten better. I mean, what else could you want? Accept it and grow.
Move
on.
Thank you. Yes, Kelly?
Thank you, Miss Nancy.
It's great to have you here.
Same. Thank you very much.
You look well. I love this color on your skin. It is
thanks.
kind.
I'm grateful.
Are you blushing purple?
Should I?
You should.
Well, thank you.
Ahead.
Being a deep thinking person, sometimes, not all the time, by the way, I'm just looking at this case to say that nothing just happens. And we understand that there's no smoke without fire. Yeah. I think, and I hope to be wrong, to say that there's more to this story than meets the eye. Why should you be worried that after the death of a child you prayed to God to literally take away, you now get to a point where you are sick in the mind, but you get the prosperity that comes
now,
with it.
Kelly, if I may, she didn't ask God to take away the child. She only asked God if he is sure she can carry this burden. Even Jesus said on the cross, the Father, if it's possible, take this cup away from me.
If it's possible. So if it was possible, Jesus wouldn't have minded the situation, like, okay, thank you, okay. Do you know when Abraham was going to slay the child and God said, provided, oh, okay, thank God, and then he walked away. Are we saying Jesus would have said that? So you see, when you say these things, God knows the intent of your heart beyond the words.
Yeah.
He sees he hears what you're saying that your mouth is not whispering. And so he does based on your heart, not by your actions or words. Actions or words only buttress the fundamental fact of what your heart is saying. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot she said that she didn't say, that God heard. You must understand that. Now, putting that behind, let's go back to the fact that there must be something. I feel, I don't have a proof to it, but I feel some diabolism somewhere. You know, when you get a child in a way not proper, and a lot of promises come with that child, you then get the child, but you didn't get the child the way you thought the child would come out. Now, the other promises of having that child comes, which is the wealth. The child goes, you will never have peace. Your conscience will be turbulent for a long time, if not forever. Because you knew the source of your wealth. You knew the reason why you now have all these things.
So as far as you are concerned, you think that there was something else beyond the prayer and the wishing?
There are two sides to it. There's either that there was a diabolical situation behind it, which we are untold, or she is suffering from something beyond what she is saying.
Probably she got depressed after the death of the child.
Most women after birth have
postpartum
depression. And we must understand that they are not insane per se. They're just going through something that, there's a lot of shock that goes into giving birth. I've been in the labor ward 32 times, so I can tell.
32 times?
Oh, yes. I am a counselor and a family advocate as well.
Yeah.
There are too many runaway fathers in the system, and I have to sign on their behalf. And when the woman is crying, they say, oh, who is next to stand in? I've stood in there 32 times, so I know what I'm saying. Oh, yes, I've seen and heard.
That's so beautiful.
So I'm godfather to 32 children as it stands right now. So I can tell what happens when a woman finishes giving birth. It could take a number of months, sometimes.
For her.
Yes, it takes process. So this could be the case that she's just suffering from this, and so the wealth is nothing to her because a child is gone.
Awesome.
So either of the two options.
Thank you. It could be, yes, man.
So back to the Abraham situation. God tested Abraham and tried to see if he would kill his son for God. Why wouldn't this woman think of it as God testing her faith? Because it takes a lot of faith to come to the conclusion and say to God that, God, I just might not be able to do this that you are asking of me. So she didn't physically, to the best of her knowledge, kill the child or do anything dangerous to the child. The child died after 2 days. That could very easy. I would take it as God answered my prayer because God knows, and God knows us better than we know ourselves.
Yeah.
God knew that she didn't have the strength, and the
strength.
capability to take care of her premature
So
baby.
she
blah,
has
blah,
no
blah.
reason to
So
be
she
worried.
shouldn't have any reason to
She
worry.
should just enjoy her life. Any day we have a conversation or a confession of the sort, there is another person that comes in. And because it is a story of a mother, I'm happy to have Lady Pastor Sheila Osei Tutu, who is also a mother herself, to come in so that we can have, a balanced opinion. We have about 4 men and then some young ladies. I need a woman as well in the studio. People, let us show Sheila some love. Oh, you look lovely. Thank you. Wow. Please have a seat. Thank you. The lady is in the house. Lady Pastor Sheila Osei Tutu.
Now, Asari.
Oh, Mr. Asari, my apologies. He bought her and he has you.
Yes.
And you're proud.
Yes, very.
Oh, how sweet. Sheila, this is a woman's confession. Let us take a look, and when we come back, I would ask of your opinion.
Miss Nancy, I've been married for 5 years now. I have a firstborn. My secondborn, I lost the child. I had some complications. So therefore, when I gave birth, the doctor said the child is a preterm baby, so they have to put the child in an incubator. Miss Nancy, I have to tell you the truth. I really cried my heart out.
You would.
I cried and I asked God that, God, why me? Why am I going through this trauma? Would I be able to take care of this child?
If it survives.
Yes, and Miss Nancy, you know these children, you have to have money to take care of them.
Indeed.
I wasn't financially sound. Miss Nancy, in 2 or 3 days' time, the doctor called me. I went to the hospital to, check up on the baby. And the doctors took me to a room and told me that I've lost the baby. Miss Nancy, I was happy in a way, but I was very sad.
You would be.
So after I lost this baby, I realized things were booming for me, business-wise, trip abroad and all that. And now, Miss Nancy, when I'm there, I feel guilty. I ask myself, why? Is it the baby that is giving me this wealth, or what is actually happening to me?
Feel that you lost her to gain something.
Yes, Miss Nancy. So at times when I'm there, I feel very guilty that I lost the baby.
You prayed.
I prayed and cried. Miss Nancy, I won't lie to you, I prayed and cried.
So you are not enjoying your blessings after because you think that there was an exchange.
That's how I feel.
She thinks that there was an exchange, that her baby was taken away so that she could have the best of this life and the best she has been enjoying after she lost her baby. And yet, she cannot truly, fully enjoy her blessing. Is she just imagining? Has she gone into depression? What is happening to this woman who believed that her God is a prayer answering God? Yet he answered her prayer and she cannot sleep in peace. People, let us go into the studio. First of all, my sincere condolences to you on the loss of your child. And again, I want to say congratulations for the beautiful life that you have had out there. I do not have all the answers, but when we get into the studio, we will get our resource people to help you. Do not cry, my dear. Do not cry. Thursday's Confessions on TV3. That is her story. Lady, she prayed to God. The Bible says, the fervent, effectual prayer of the righteous availeth much. When I lift my voice, I open my mouth to pray, I expect that the heavens would answer.
Yeah.
The heavens answered her prayer, and yet she's unhappy about it.
It's rather unfortunate that she's unhappy about it, but sometimes, you know, death, anytime you lose something that's so precious to you, when you remember probably the closeness that you were with the person or that baby, that child, the bond, that is where I'm sure the lady feels guilty or she feels sad. But sometimes there are some sickness or illness that doctors will tell you that it's 30% survival. In that case, what would you do? You would pray to God and tell God, let your will be done. I don't believe, I'm sure someone would say, oh, there's more to it. Now she's doing well, so probably, I don't believe in that. I believe that it's God's will for it to happen because it's an innocent child.
Yeah.
And medically, the baby had only 30% survival. So you've prayed, you've done everything, and God decides to take the baby away. There's some sickness that, Ms. Nancy, you will hide your child.
Yes.
I am a victim.
Oh.
Yes. My
Tell
second
me
child.
your story.
Yes. I prayed.
You did.
I told God, the doctors are saying everything, but you are the doctor of all doctors. Heal my child. I wasn't this strong in Christ.
Okay.
That child made me strong in Christ because I told God,
It took you
please,
to the place
I
of
had to be close to God to
God.
save my child. 2 days to the death of my child, I had an encounter with God. I prayed. I
did?
remember I prayed. Then 2 days, I saw my child leaving. My child was with my mother-in-law. She was crying. It was a baby. I took the baby. Immediately I picked the baby cried, died in my hands.
Wow.
I saw it when she died.
Wow.
And I said,
Wow.
this is God's will.
Well,
My next prayer was, Father, Lord, restore what I have lost. That was the Bible says in all things you give thanks to Him. It was difficult. I went blank. My whole world, yes, I had a child, but this child, there was something about this baby.
there is always that feeling you have for every child you
Yes.
have. One is no better than the other. Everyone is essential.
Exactly. This child was, I think, is the Christ fact. You know, she brought me very close to God, and I loved that aspect of my life.
Don't we think that was the whole point? Was
I
she
think
not
God
supposed to
was-
be that
yes.
experience
Yes.
that would draw you near to God?
I-
And now you're actually a lady pastor,
Yes. So I
sharing
believe
this
this is it.
beautiful
Yes.
story,
This is it.
sharing this beautiful story to the world.
Yes, it was terrible. People were saying all sorts of stories, a lot. You know, when a child dies, people read meanings into it.
Amazingly, death is only
Yes.
a part of life. We live to die.
Exactly. But I believed that it was God's will because I had prayed.
You had.
I had fasted than never before. I did everything.
That a mother is
And then
supposed
even
to.
when medically, we did everything.
Did.
So when it happened, when everybody was saying
Goosebumps.
everything, I said, God, it is your will. And you have a reason for making this happen. And when I kept praying for restoration, Ms. Nancy, my third child, I got to a point, my husband told me that, don't take this child to church again. I'm tired. I was like, why?
You kept on.
You know what? Because immediately I delivered the child and the doctor brought the child, I got scared. I asked myself, did I actually give birth to this child? She was beautiful.
Healthy.
Beautiful. I'm sure my husband
bouncing.
couldn't believe it himself.
Yeah.
Even as a brony. And I asked God, is that how you decided to restore? Is that how you're reminding me of your goodness and your kindness? Because the other one that I lost, I kept hiding her. Because Miss Nancy, not to say.
Just a
Not to
little.
say, honestly. It's okay to say, oh, bam,
You don't want people to see
security
you are not available.
because I'm very.
She, let me have you take a breather. And I mean, let me come to the studio. Counselor,
Miss Nancy,
these challenges of women, families, having children with disabilities, having children with on the autistic spectrum, and all manner. How do we deal as a society? What kind of support can we give to such people?
Miss Nancy, thank you so much. I've been touched by Lady Reverend's story. But prior to your question, I want people to understand that we are all here for an assignment.
We are.
We are here for a reason. We are here for a cause. And we are here for a purpose. I'm not playing on words. Take your time and get it.
Yes.
And you will understand what I'm talking about.
Yes.
It's only God who knows the tomorrow of you.
Yeah.
The person by me, like Esther here, just know currently who I am with her.
Wow.
But as to my tomorrow,
You have no
is only
idea.
God. Therefore, we need to come to a point to say that, look, any situation, any happiness is not your doing.
Yeah.
It's a doing of God.
Definitely.
If you can have this in your mind, you are rather, intensifying your faith level.
Yes.
The only thing Lady did was to not people see what God has given me. To their eyes, it might not be good. But to the eyes of God, it's good.
Perfect.
So, and per that faith she had, God said, okay, now I know your purpose in my life. So I'll give you a new one. Now look at the second one that came.
Healthy.
So at times when these things happen, they happen for a reason. I don't want people to look at it and say that
No.
the B, there is something in there that we are all supposed to activate. I call it, if you cannot accept who you said you are, what you have now, who else would you be?
Yeah.
Another question we should also be asking is that, whose are you? You are not yourself. Open the ball.
Yes.
And open the do be and also what be say. So when it comes, let's hold on for a while. So when you do give birth to the other side of what everybody is looking for, it is not a waste. It is not a curse.
Yeah.
It is God's doing. I had a chance to visit deaf and dumb graduation. And the wisdom I had, they can really interpret what you are doing by their sight.
Yes.
So the sign language goes and all that. And I realized that we said we are normal, we take things for granted.
Yeah.
When you are talking to me, I don't want to look at you.
Yeah.
But to them, they are observing.
Yes. Eye
And
contact
that
consistently.
exactly, and that is the unique aspect of it. If you shan one cassette, me bunny your phone. Shan one cassette obi your phone.
Na nyame atua wo ka.
Maria, nyamia bobia for a purpose. Ebanesa, you the person in question, stand tall, look up,
Awesome.
and God is there for you.
Awesome. Now, I mean, that was powerful, but then the question that I asked him, if you would want to help me with that.
So I identify with Lady Pastor a lot. I have a nephew who has a hearing disability.
Okay.
And he didn't live with me for a long time, but for the past, let's say, a year, he's been living in my house. And that is when I came to appreciate how much we don't do anything for children with disabilities.
Yeah.
We take watching TV for granted
Yeah.
because we see what's happening, we hear what's happening.
Yeah.
He doesn't hear anything.
Anything.
So try watching TV without the sound and see how much you get out of it. And that's what happens with us. We think we are fully able and everything. So we take stuff for granted. Now, this woman's child that passed, I personally believe it was a test of her faith.
Yeah.
The time if she could pray that prayer to God at that time, her faith had built up to a certain point.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Beyond the child's death, every time she prayed with that faith.
Yeah.
She prayed for wealth with that faith. She prayed for other children with that faith. And that's why she got the children. That's why she got the wealth. When we do have a child with disability, like Counselor said, we shouldn't see it as a wrong we have done.
In fact,
the Bible
we usually
tells
see
us
it
that
as a curse.
Exactly. But Jesus, he saw somebody who was deformed, and he said, it is for the glory of my
God.
Father.
Yes.
So why can't we see that child's situation as for the glory of God? That is if you believe in God.
Tonight, this edition is dedicated to every mother or father with a disabled child, a child who is on the autistic spectrum, children with special needs. Our hearts and loves are going out there to all of you. Let me take this break. When we come back, more.
It will be hard, we know that the road will be muddy and rough, but we will get there.
Well, we are here not just with my counselors, of course, my studio audience. Love coming out from me to you people. Great to have you all here. Was there anybody that had a question or a contribution that you wanted to put across? All right. Yellow. Are you yellow or orange, actually? You are so fair. Okay, let me finish with yellow, and I come to you, please.
Thank you very much, Miss Nancy. Before I begin, I'll say you are looking supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Superfluous.
Thank you. Thank you.
Indeed.
Thank you.
This has deposited all of us in a state of sadness and what I would say melancholy. But what I would like, an advice I would like to give is that this woman is actually having this kind of abstract mental blocks that is really trying to worry her in a way. So what I would say is that these mental blocks, she should find a way, she should motivate herself as these excellent expositions that were made. She should see that it's the will of God and that she should use these mental blocks as building blocks and then ensure that she believes that better things are coming. Because there's a saying that if you are not patient with love, you will indeed become a patient of love.
Ah.
Indeed.
Well, I got a gentleman who speaks so much English, I am overwhelmed. Thank you for the English, man. Thank you. Yes, any other? Yes, that's you.
Miss Nancy, I'm really touched by the
So
lady's
am I.
story. I will not put myself out there, but I'm a victim myself. When it comes to a child with disability or, let's say, sickness, I am number one. But I don't put myself down. I quite remember my mom told me one day that I'm a problem to her just because I used to fall sick.
Consistently.
So the woman that she's having a issue saying that the child is gone, she's worried, she should thank God. She should just give thanks to God that she's not with a child which she's, in fact, undergoing a problem.
Yeah.
Miss Nancy, it's not easy. Because you, the mother, will not feel comfortable, the child will not feel comfortable. Your money too will not be at peace. Oh, Miss Nancy, it's very serious.
I get it. I get it.
At first, I used to go to the hospital every month, consistently.
But look at you.
But look at me, I am fine.
You are.
By God's grace. Because
You are.
it
And,
made me...
and look at you living and making an impact. And you know that I love you since you've
Yes.
been on Confessions.
Yes.
Your life has become so impactful.
Very
Let us
well.
celebrate this
Miss
beautiful
Nancy.
life. We are grateful to God for
I am
you.
happy.
And we
because
love
Miss,
you.
Miss Nancy, because when I started cooking as a chef, when I went to the hospital, the doctor told me that I've never seen, sorry to say, a sickle cell patient who is a chef. So
Wow.
I cannot do that job. I told her, that, no, I know the God I serve.
Well,
And today, I run a company on my own. So I give thanks to God.
we do for you as well. We do. I love his company, KFT, right? KFT, he's into food. And when you see that this is a man that is living with a purpose, he decided, I'm not dying, no. I will live, and I'll live my life to the fullest. And baby, we will make sure you enjoy every minute of it. We are with you all through and through. Mwah! Thank you, thank you. Any other person that
Miss
has something?
Nancy.
Yes, my dear.
We all have moments we enter into trials and temptations. So let me say this is one of them. She should just forget about it and then try and move on. It's very painful, but she could do certain things as she's been in communication with God. She go deeper, have counseling sections, move with people that would console her, that will make her happy so that she forgets about it and just move on.
Thank you, thank you. Please appreciate her contribution. Thank you. I know of friends and people that are unable to celebrate. Like when good things happen, when you're having a party, they are angry, they are wondering why you're having a party, but be bereaved. Have death in your home, and they will spend 3 days with you, mourning with you. Yeah. Can Ghanaians just come out of this misery of enjoying misery?
Yeah.
We just love to enjoy negativity. We want to stay in the bad mood for so long. It is a time that we should understand that that is life. We have life and we have death.
Yes.
But death, your mother hasn't died before.
Miss Nancy,
Death?
can I add this to what you just said? When the thing is in dark, when I'm in darkness, I act and nobody sees it. But when there's light, you see me.
Yes.
But in my state of darkness, I need to work my way through to ignite the light. And so whoever says that things have not gone the way I expect, please look for the light. Look for the light and ignite it, and you will see what the Lord is doing. Yeah. And the people around, with all respect, rather than condemning the spirit of the person, stop it. Stop it. Because it's true.
You are welcome back. Yes, Sheila, back to you in the studio. How have you been able to heal? How did you get over this? How did you get to the place where you are organizing events? I've spoken at your event before, and you are into ministry, you are a businesswoman supporting your family. How did you get out of this pain and bitterness?
First of all, I would tell the lady, for me, it, of course, it's not going to be easy because you've lost something. A human being, not just a thing. So first of all, don't block your ears. People will talk. People will say things, deep things, but block your ears. And that's one of the first things I did. I blocked my ears. Because you hear something and you ask yourself, are they talking about me? Yes. So then I went back to my God. You pray to God. From what I said from the beginning, I told God, restore.
Restore.
Restore. After that, seek a counselor's, Counselor Dumata is here. He's fantastic.
Awesome,
I've admired him from afar, This country, we don't take counseling seriously. But honestly, we need it, and it helps. Seek that one. After that, what I did, I started going to orphanage homes, I visited one home that when you go, all the kids, they have HIV.
A home for children living with HIV in Accra.
I told my husband that, let's do this. I was scared, HIV, but I said, no, they are children, and all of them are kids. Some, I was told, the parents will just dump them there when they know that they have it. So do things like that. and you free your spirit.
Yes.
When I went there, the time I visited that place, I was like 8 months pregnant.
Oh.
With my third child. Yes,
Yes.
I was almost due. I went there, I prayed with them, we danced, and I cried. It reminded me of my baby. Yes, but it's fulfilling.
It is.
Then after that, look for something that you know that you love to do. I love to help people less fortunate in the society. So I love to do that. I love to help my husband with his business. I love to take care of children. I love to take care of my ministry, the ministry I'm in. So when you find that, those things
It
that you
gives you
love to
a fulfilling
it gives you
life.
some fulfilling life. And she should always know that that child should be a constant reminder of God's goodness and God's favor upon her life.
Awesome. People, this has been that edition where we get to talk about a woman that says the Lord heard her prayers, but yet she's not been able to enjoy her blessings because she thought that God actually heard her prayers. And I have been helped by Counselor Edumata, Kelly Daniels, Man, and of course Sheila, who was being gracious with sharing her own story. We want to impact lives, and I want to tell you that no matter what you are going through, be strong and support yourself. Husbands, support the women that are bringing forth children with such disabilities. They need all the love. Family, be there for them, and together let us make our homes and the whole of Ghana a happy place. Thank you. Love you.